Okay, family, shalom. I'm back again. So about to finish this up. So we'll just keep moving along. But as I said, the main thing right now, family, is that we have to stay focused. On building our relationship with the Most High and developing our understanding of self through the baptism of the Holy Spirit. As I had mentioned on the last video before a break, I was talking about how we have to let go of our past. We pick up the experiences and the things that we were supposed to learn from it to move forward, but we can't stay. We have to let go of the past. We can't stay stuck there because that's a trap in our fallen nature. See, the preservation of self apart from Elohim is man worship. It's all one and the same. It gets us to a place where we continue to seek out things to find a place of comfort in this realm of his permissive will. Because as I said, this realm where we exist in right now, to the flesh, the only real truth is that place of our comfort and convenience. Because it's then we have a sense of well-being and peace when everything's conducive to our comfort. We good with that. That's why we don't like change. See, because change brings you to a place where it takes you out your comfort zone. But, as a child of his, we have to be taken out of our comfort zone because that's where we learn. And as we experience hardship, that's when we learn. That's when we grow. See, we're not growing when we're comfortable. What happens in a place of comfort, we tend, in our fallen nature, we tend to get complacent. And then we come to a place where we just feel this place why as we continue to try to preserve that place of comfort and convenience because we're comfortable. In our fallen nature, as I said, that's the absolute truth of the flesh, is whatever brings pleasure to you and comfort and convenience, that you try to preserve that. Okay? That's why even in this time, as I said, America's coming to a place where people that thought they was free is realizing that they weren't free, and that the freedom they thought they had was an illusion. This is why right now, as things continue to shape up the way, it's going to be people willing to fight a war to even preserve their way of life and this place of comfort and convenience that's all about them. As I said, where man becomes his own Elohim. All right, so anything that challenges that, they want to destroy that. So as I said, for the child of Elohim, we know we don't belong here. So for us, this ain't about fighting for this place. This is about being obedient to our Creator, to endure what we got to go through in order to pass over to the other side and to go home, because his kingdom is home. See, he said we're in the world, but we're not of this world because he chose us out of this world. So the reality, family, is that, hey, this is not our home. And we shouldn't be striving to hang on to this and to continue to be a part of this world, because this world is passing away. And it was just something that the Most High allowed to accomplish his perfect will ultimately. As I said, as he had to allow the process of good and evil to play itself out, to bring forth his perfect will. So in this realm of his permissive will, which is the dispensation of grace, he had to allow that battle of good and evil to play itself out, with the ultimate purpose and desire of him coming forth. And that's to birth his children in the true existence. Because we're still in the process of being created. And until the process is completed, we not completed. So, see, we got to understand. See, as we're being born of the Spirit, we're receiving the seal of Elohim. And we have to understand this about his seal. The seal of Elohim does not guarantee that we won't experience physical death. It's no guarantee of that. You know what I'm saying? And for someone to die in Hamashiach, that's a golden ticket to the kingdom. So the reality is, to me, it seems like that's the best way to go. You know, I mean, just being honest with ourselves, if we just be honest, that seems like that's the best way to go. You know, but his will be done is what I said, you know. As I said, I don't pray to try to tell him, you know, get me to a place of safety and all of that. Hey, if that ain't his will, I don't want it. Because as I said, truly, I'm just at a point in my life, I don't want nothing he don't want me to have. You know, whatever his will for me to accomplish my purpose and glorify him, then that's what I want. So, understanding that if it's meant for me to be a martyr, when it's time for that to happen, that he's already equipped me with the strength to endure it. You know what I'm saying? And we all have to have that same attitude. That this is why we praying to be filled with his Spirit, so that we can endure all things. You know, it's a lot of people that talk about what they're going to do when this happens and that happens and stuff like that. But they're talking in their own strength. And they ought to look at Peter and consider what Peter said when he was still carnal, before he was filled with the Ruach HaKodesh. Peter said the same thing. You know, when Yeshua had made known that he was going to have to die and that he was going, the things he's going to have to suffer, and Peter got to talking stuff like so many of us do. All others forsake you, Master, but not me, you know. And all of that, he's talking all that noise, and then Yeshua said, Peter, before the rooster crows, you're going to deny me 3 times. See, because Peter was still carnal and in his flesh. And it's the same thing with all of us that talk that noise about, yeah, I'm going to take them 13 steps, or I'm going to go to FEMA camps, and I'm going to do all this and do all that, or whatever it is, and boasting and bragging about what you're going to do. And the reality is, if you ain't born in the Spirit, as I said, you're going to define yourself doing things that you never thought you'd do. Because, as I said, those of us continue to beseech him about being filled with his Spirit, so that we can endure all the things that we got to go through and all of that, and understand and overcome ourselves. Yeah, because in truth, see, as we deny ourselves, we overcome self. But it takes the Ruach HaKodesh to bring you to a place where you deny yourself to serve Elohim and to please him. So the bottom line is, what's happening, as I said, those who's asking to be filled with his righteousness, he's filling us with his Spirit, but it's at the expense of those that's been on the fence. Because shortly it ain't going to be no more in the middle. You can't be neutral about this thing. You're either a child of Elohim or you're a child of Hasatan. And that's what it comes down to. And the bottom line is, if you ain't desiring and seeking him and trying to be filled with his Spirit, guess what? You're a child of Hasatan, and you fitted for destruction. That's the bottom line. Like I said, it ain't but 2 vessels he making. There's a vessel of honor and a vessel of dishonor. A vessel of honor is a child of Elohim. A vessel of dishonor is a child of Hasatan. in the end, what it's going to turn out to be is going to be self-worship. Like I said, man worship is self-worship. That's what it is. It's worship of self. It's when we put ourselves on the throne and see ourselves as the Most High in our lives, as we desire to do what we want, anything that pleases us, regardless of how the Creator sees it. You know what I'm saying? And so the bottom line is he's dealing with that spirit, and he's separating those that are his. In humility, those who humble themselves, as he said, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from my wicked ways, turn from our wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and heal their land. So the reality is, family, we gotta die. Self separated from the Most High has to die. And so we have to understand that, as I said, we have to trust Yah with our lives. This is why we seek him out. See, the voice of Elohim is the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Holy Spirit. That's why we got to be filled with it, so we can hear, so we can understand things in season. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, a word out of season is a lie. And so many people, most people are lied to because they haven't sought the Creator for themselves, so they really don't know the will of their Creator because they don't have no relationship with him. They haven't sought him out. They haven't wanted to know his will for their lives and none of these things. So they live in a lie. They caught up in the strong delusion that the Most High said he would hand those over to that reject him. He said, because, you reject knowledge, I'm going to reject you. And it's just simple as that. And it's the knowledge of Elohim, which eventually at the time of Hamashiach, the whole world going to be filled with the knowledge of Elohim. That's why it's going to be perfect peace. That's why it ain't going to be the slaughter of his animals, the slaughter of each other, none of these things, these works of darkness. And that people are going to be truly in a repentant state. Because one of the things that's happening right now is as he continues to pour out of his Ruach upon us and fill us with his spirit, what it's doing is cleaning us up. And it's going to cause us ultimately to keep his commandments in every way. Because we will no longer be tied to this world. See, as I said, he has to establish this. And he has to establish Israel. Because Israel, as I said, has never been what it's supposed to be. It's never happened. And guess what? It wasn't meant to happen until the time of Yeshua. So the bottom line is, because as Elohim said, he's not sharing his glory with another. So the bottom line is, this mighty work that he's doing of restoring his creation, ain't no man going to take credit for what he's doing in this hour and what he's going to do. And as I said, it comes down to, it's all about Elohim's perception of us. And as I said, for his child, that's a concern. To me, it has to be the only thing that matters to a created being that loves the Most High, is that you got to know where you stand with him. And that's the question I'm just throwing out there. Do you really know where you stand with him? Have you really built a relationship with him where you hear that voice, that he's speaking in you, that he's teaching you things and showing you things? Or is your understanding of your relationship with the Most High based on the stuff you've been taught and told, by the spirit of religion? See, this is the kind of questions, family, that we have to truly ask ourselves. Do you really know where you stand with Elohim? This is why I'm saying, right now, with all the stuff that's going on, you got to stay focused. Stay focused on your relationship with the Most High. Do you really know where you stand? And I throw that question out there because I'm not trying to judge nobody. As I said, hey, the question is, do you know where you stand with the Most High? Truly. all games and stuff aside, we all got to understand that, family. Excuse me. And we ain't going to get that answer from nobody else but him. So, I'm just throwing this out there too, family. Crying out to him. It's just prayer. Prayer is just communicating with Elohim. You know what I'm saying? It's talking to him. And then being quiet enough to let him speak to you too. Because that dialogue is between you and your creator, your Elohim. So you have to believe that and develop that relationship as he leads you by his spirit. You got to want to understand yourself. You got to want to get it when it's said that you have to overcome self. And the only way you can overcome self is to know self through the spirit of your creator who made you, who created all things in you, who know your thoughts before you think it, who give you the power to blink your eyes and move your fingers, and the smell and the taste and the touch and the hear and all these things. As I said, the scripture says that it's in him that we live, move, and have our being. That means the Most High got everything to do with our lives. And whether it's good or evil, he got everything to do with all of that. The thing is that as created beings, we need to come to understand what's the deal, what's the purpose, what's really happening, and even most of all, ultimately, is to come to is to ask that question, Father, really, how can I truly serve you in the way that you want me to serve you? What is it that I have to do to fulfill my purpose and my destiny and why you created me? And to desire to be a part of the true light to this world, to be the salt of the earth, all the things that Israel was supposed to be, that never was. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't born of the Spirit. As I said, we got here because Adam and Eve were not born of the Spirit, but it was all a part of his divine plan anyway. As I said, he said to Adam, the day that you eat of that tree, you shall surely die. He didn't say if, because if would have implied choice. So Adam didn't have a choice. At the appointed time, he disobeyed the Most High. But it was a necessary part of this process because Adam and Eve was given everything without no real understanding because they didn't experience anything to earn that gift that they got. So the reality is now is through the experience of life as we experience everything that Elohim is. Ultimately, when we come into the Father's kingdom again, there ain't no way we'll squander what was been given to us because we will have paid the price of this experience to understand the what and the whys of what we've been through, thus the responsibility that we've been given. Because one of the things that I notice about so-called Israel today is that they don't talk about their responsibility though. They talk about being Israel and being blessed and supposed to have dominion over this, that, and the other and stuff like that. But they don't never talk about their responsibilities because they don't understand. As I said, they don't have respect for the laws of nature and stuff, so that's why everything else, this whole world is out of balance because we haven't understood Elohim's truth. But as the time of the end has come, now it's time for God to establish the truth. So as he begins to wrap up Jacob's trouble, it's going to bring forth true Israel. And then true Israel is going to begin to do what it was created to be. And that's a light to all the other nations. As he gives us the understanding we need to change us and to clean us up and to transform us into the image of our Hamashiach, to be his bride on this earth, that all the other nations can be as receive the truth of Elohim and come into the commonwealth of true Israel. Okay? So as I said, My main thing I just been trying to say tonight is that we got to stay focused and we got to keep seeking out our Elohim to do his will in our lives, family, and to clean us up and to make us what he wants us to be. So, as I said, I just throw that out there for you guys, and I pray that, we continue to search our souls to make sure we're in right standard in relationship with our Elohim. Okay, so anyway, family, I think that's all I got for today. As I said, just keep seeking, keep seeking, stay focused, and understand as a child of Elohim, there ain't no quit in you. Ain't no such, that's not an option for the child of Elohim is quitting. It's not an option. He's equipped us with everything we need to make this journey, and all we got to do is keep our eyes on him. Don't put nothing before him, and understand that, the ultimate goal is to be in right standard with our Elohim. And as we receive his truth and the things that he tells us and teaches us, we good. And to stay faithful. And as he's been faithful to us, and there's no way we could make this journey without him. There is no life apart from him, family. So anyway, with that said, I'm just going to say, stay focused. Don't give up. Don't be distracted by all the stuff that's going on. Just ask Elohim to give you the wisdom and the strength and the understanding you need to endure and get through these various temptations that he said we would suffer. He said, count it all joy when we fall into diverse temptations. That's what he said. Because the trying of our understanding worketh patience. And as I said, just remember this, family. It ain't about faith. It's about understanding. Faith is a system of thought that man continues to justify his existence being separated from his Elohim and the understanding of his creator. That's what faith is. But understanding is what it is. It's understanding. And that's why he tells us, in all you're getting, get understanding. So, with that said, family, I just say I love you guys, and I pray the peace of Yah be up on you and in you. And until next time, I'm going to just say, Shalom.